What's up, Ahava family? I want to go over 3 core exercises that you can do whether you're a beginner or an advanced guru in terms of working out. But this is something that you can do to improve the core stability for your lower back and your spine. It's also going to help to improve your posture, but then it's also going to help you to stand taller, so you're going to look great, you're going to feel confident as well. So if you're interested in improving your core, check out this video right now. I'm Dr. Robert Rosas from Ahava Chiropractic, and I make these videos because a bunch of my patients have a bunch of questions about how to improve their health and improve their life. And so I make this video because I know a lot of people out there have the same types of questions as well. So I hope that you like this video, enjoy, and let's get to it. So the first thing before we get started in all these exercises is the first thing you have to do is learn how to activate your core. Now when I say core, I want you to think about the core as like a back brace that we have internally, but it's something that's not just in the front, but it's actually all the way around up into the spine. And so the best way that I've learned to actually activate your core is to use your fingers, place them onto your abs, and what you're going to do is you're going to cough. And when you cough, you should feel your fingers kind of push out. And it's not because your air is pushing out, it's because those muscles contract. So when you cough, you'll feel that muscle get tense, and then you try to hold and maintain that. The same thing on the outside, you're going to cough, and you should feel these muscles pushing outwards, and when you feel that muscle get tense and very tight, you want to try to maintain that. Or if you imagine you're just going to push into your sides, and you're going to try to bear down, and you're going to push these muscles, and you're trying to push the fingers outwards as well. The ones that are the most difficult are the muscles in the back, and so again, you're going to put your fingers right onto the back muscles, and you're just going to cough, and you should feel those muscles pushing back towards you as well. And so this is where you have to first understand how to activate those muscles. And once you learn to activate them, you want to train your body to start to hold those muscles and try to hold that contraction for as much time as you possibly can. And even right now, I'm having a conversation with you, and I'm actually contracting these muscles because you don't have to hold your breath when you're contracting. You should be able to have a normal conversation. You should be able to breathe normally. You should be able to do whatever it is that you need to do while you're contracting your core muscles. Okay, so let's jump right into the exercises. So the first exercise is called dead bug, and this is absolutely my most favorite exercise to give when it comes to core stability, especially when you have lower back pain or some back issues. Dead bug is a very excellent exercise, and I want to go through the different types of progressions that we can use to actually get people to the point where you're having more stability. So the first is going to be the very basic. So what you want to do, you're going to find a firm surface, whether it be the floor, on the yoga mat, on carpet. You can do this while you're actually on the mattress or on the bed, but I prefer a more firmer surface here. So the way you're going to do this, you're going to bring your knees up to about 90 degrees here. Okay, as you have a 90-degree angle, you're just going to hold that, and you're also going to bring your hands in front of you. Now, the actual key component to this exercise is, again, as you're holding this, you're trying to contract your core here. And the reason why you want to do this is because you're trying to engage these muscles around the entire core or in the entire spine, because you're trying to protect and create that stability within your spine here. So that includes the back muscles here. Now, a lot of people will start to have like this dip or this arch in their spine. What you want to do is try to flatten that out. And the way you do this, you can kind of tuck your pelvis in a little bit. And when you tuck your pelvis in, you want to hold and maintain that. And again, bring your knees to about a 90-degree angle right over here. And again, so you want to try to keep your back flat against the floor. You can try to push against the floor, or you can just try to tuck your pelvis underneath and try to get that back to be flat, and then try to hold that and maintain that. Okay, so that is the first part, and the most crucial part to this exercise is keeping your back flat, contracting your core, and holding this and maintaining this. And so this is the phase 1 of this exercise, and if you're a beginner, this is exactly where I want you to be. And this is where you're just going to hold this, and I want you to try to hold this for at least a minute to a minute and a half. Now, what I want to do is you're going to hold this, and once you get to about a minute to a minute and a half, you're going to take a break, relax, take it easy, but I want to get up to about 5 minutes of holding it. So if you can go to a minute, you can get to a minute and a half, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, up to a count of 5 minutes. And so if you can only hold it for a minute, do it 5 times. If you can do it for 2.5 minutes, do it twice. Just get to about 5 minutes of holding this position, and you can see I'm contracting my core, I'm maintaining good positioning, but I'm also having a conversation. So this is something that you want to learn to contract your muscles, keep your core tight, but then learn to breathe normally. And this is a key for everything in terms of core, is that your core, although we want to try to get that six-pack abs, I know everyone wants to try to get ready for the beach, but this is something that you're just really trying to create that stability, so then that way we can protect your lower back and protect your spine in general. All right, so this is phase 1. Now phase 2 is going to be where you actually move one of your extremities, meaning either your hands or just your feet. Now, let's take this one step at a time. So for this, you're going to move your hands, and we're going to do progressions of one arm first, and then bringing it back up, the other arm, and again maintaining the core and trying to keep that core contracted. Now, if you do this wrong, what this actually looks like is that your rib cage will start to flare up. So if I have a weak core and I'm not activating it, what's going to happen is as my arm goes down, your rib cage is going to come up and your back is going to arch. So we want to prevent that from happening by contracting your core, squeezing your core, keeping your back flat on the floor, and as you move your arm and your limb, there should be no movement. It should just be completely solid, completely stable here. And so this is the first step to phase 2, is we're just moving the arms and we're keeping the core contracted so we don't arch our back and we don't have the ribs flaring up. Now the second part of phase 2 is we're just going to move the legs. So now we're just going to bring this all the way out as far down as we can and bringing it back slowly, bringing it all the way out, bringing it back slowly. Now again, we're trying to keep the core contracted, we're trying to keep our back flat, and if you do this one wrong, what this looks like is as you bring the leg back, the pelvis is going to arch and this back is going to arch here as well. The pelvis is going to rock forward, but then the actual back is going to arch, and this is because we're not contracting our core. So we contract our core, keep our back flat, and then we're just going to keep the legs moving back and forth and keeping that core nice and contracted. And this is the phase 2 of the dead bug. All right, now I need a break. So in terms of that, again, key components is we got to keep that back flat, contracting the core, not just in the front, but all the way around. And then we just want to make sure that our pelvis doesn't rock forward and our arch doesn't increase and our ribs don't flare up. So we want to try to maintain that, okay? So now we're going to combine those 2 steps with the phase 2, the arms and the hands. We're going to combine them together. So the way that looks is one leg is going to go out, the opposite arm is going to go out as well. And then we're just going to go back and forth here, okay? So let's go ahead, bringing up the legs, keeping the core contracted, keeping the back flat, hands out in front of you, just like that. All right, so now what you want to do, we're going to go one hand. So let's say my right hand, we're going to go with the left leg. So right hand and left leg goes out. Again, keeping the core contracted. And this is probably the most advanced level for this exercise. Again, right hand, left leg, left hand, left leg, all the way out as much as you can. And this is the most advanced part of this. And again, you want to make sure you're keeping watch of your ribs, keeping watch of your pelvis, and trying to maintain a flat back against the floor. All right, so that's going to be it. Again, if you can do it for about 1 minute to 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes, I want to get you up to a count of 5 minutes there. The beauty about this exercise is that you can actually cut it into different phases. If you're a beginner, just start with phase 1. If you're a little bit better at intermediate, do phase 2. If you're really strong in your workouts and your strength, then go up to phase 3 if you feel comfortable with that. Okay, but I would even start with phase 1 if you're even advanced, if this is the first time you've done it, just to train your body, to train those muscles. So now let's go into exercise number 2, which is going to be the bird dog exercise. All right, so to do the bird dog exercise, you want to go on all fours, again finding a firm surface. If you really wanted to challenge yourself, you could actually do this one on the mattress where it's more unstable, but just start at a firm surface. And again, this is where we're going to take this into different phases. So again, the very, very first component of this is contracting your core from the front, contracting it from the side, and then contracting it especially in the back here. And so you're going to squeeze there, tucking your chin in a little bit. You don't want your head down, you don't want it looking up. You just want to tuck the chin in, try to keep your ears over your shoulders. And so from here, what you're going to do, we're just going to start with one limb here. So if you can actually bring the leg out, and if you can just hold that, bring it back down, bringing this leg out, the right leg, holding that, and then down. Again, left leg, squeezing the glute, squeezing the core, and then down. And then right leg, squeezing the glute, squeezing the core, bringing that down. So that's going to be the first exercise. Now, what you don't want is when you're bringing your leg out, you don't want to be unstable and fall over the place. You want to try to just keep everything nice and solid, nice and squared, and then coming back down, okay? The other step to this phase is that you're going to just move the arms here. So you're going to go ahead and bring the arm out, and then down, other arm, and then down. Same thing, we're squeezing the core here. We're trying not to rotate the shoulders. You're not trying to lift up here. You're just trying to lift the arm out, down, lifting the arm out, down. This whole time I'm squeezing my core here and not letting my torso rotate. Keeping my ribs down, and I don't want my ribs to come up like this. I want my ribs to stay down. Back and forth here. So that is phase 1 of the bird dog. Now phase 2 is going to be where you do both arms and the hands. So you're going to go right hand, right leg, bringing it out, down, bringing it out, left arm, right leg, bringing it down. Now what you're going to try to notice here is I'm not wobbly. If you are wobbly, you're just trying to hold and maintain that. You can even hold this for a few seconds if you can, just to make sure you're not unstable, you're not shaking, you're not wobbling. You're keeping your core nice and contracted and keeping it nice and strong here. And that is the second phase of the bird dog. Okay. Now the third phase is we're going to bring your arm down and then in, or I'm sorry, out, bringing it down and then bringing it out. So again, let's go ahead and bring out the arm. And if you can hold this and maintain it, you're going to bring the hand down and hitting the knee. And then again, just bring the arm down to the knee and bring it back out. You never fully stop on this exercise. And you're just trying to maintain that, not letting your torso rotate, not letting your hips rotate, but keeping your core nice and strong. And then doing that for about 30 seconds to 60 seconds. And then we switch. Trying to keep everything within the torso nice and squared up. Never letting the knee fully touch the ground. Keeping that core nice and tight. Breathing in nice and deep. Slow exercise, slow breathing. And that's it. And that's phase 3 of the bird dog exercise. Again, with all these exercises, it's extremely important to keep that core nice and strong, keep it nice and tight, and so that way your body's not twisting or turning and you're having as much stability as possible. So let's jump over to the next exercise, which is going to be planks. All right, so let's jump over into the planks here. So this one is also a very fun and exciting one, but there's different phases that you can do in regards to planks. So the first thing is we can go ahead and start from our knees and our elbows. And now what you want to try to do, and this is going to be very tricky because you can't really see yourself in the mirror. Even for me, I can't see myself in the video, but you want to try to imagine your ears and your shoulders and your hips and then your knees all trying to be in line there. So what you want to try to do, keep your elbows and your hands and your arms nice and squared up with your shoulders. And what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to lift up your pelvis. Now this one, it's going to be a bit of a challenge because you want to try to squeeze your core and squeeze your muscles, but you also want to squeeze your glutes here as well. And this should actually help to keep things in position here. Now, even just looking at the camera, if I can try to lower down my pelvis and then bring up my arms, that's going to be a goal. So again, you're just trying to squeeze the core here and trying to imagine a line going from your ears, your shoulders, and your hips. Now, that may be possible, it may not for some, but this is where we just try to do our best. But the key is we're going to squeeze the core and squeeze the glutes here. Now, another thing you can do to add a little bit more pressure on this is pulling your elbows in towards your belly. Now, this is going to really squeeze the core even more. And as you do this, this is a really solid exercise for your core. And it's going to help you with, just again, the stability with your spine. It's going to help to improve your posture. And this is exactly why we do this, is we're trying to improve the health of our body here. So that is the first phase of the plank here. Now, the second phase, we're going to go onto our feet and onto our elbows here. So this one, again, we're squeezing the core, squeezing the glutes, keeping your chin tucked, and if you can, squeezing the elbows into your stomach. And this is where we're just going to hold this and maintain this. You want to try to go about 30 to 60 seconds maintaining this exercise and just holding that for position, squeezing the core, making sure we're breathing nice and deep, and then nice and slow. This is a good time to put on a YouTube video like we're watching here, or listen to a podcast, or just some meditation music, whatever is going to help you to get through this exercise. But again, we're squeezing the core, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the elbows down towards our belly here. And that is the second progression of the planks. And so the last progression in regards to planks is where I like to go on all four of my feet and my hands, but then we're also going to reach out and then just try to allow our body to try to maintain that core without wobbling here. So the third phase of this plank, you're going to go ahead and get arms shoulder width apart, feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to squeeze the core here, squeezing the glutes. And now what I like to do, one, we can just bring the arms out, nice and slow, very controlled. You'll notice the weight shifting over to one arm a little bit more because you're trying to keep the center of balance, but you don't want your hips to rotate. You want to keep them nice and squared. That's the first part of the phase 3 of the planks. And then the second part, and this is the most tricky one, is trying to go with the opposite hand and opposite leg. So we're going to go right hand, left leg. Trying to keep that nice and strong. Spreading the fingers to try to balance yourself. Squeezing the core, squeezing the glutes. Again for 30 to 60 seconds. Okay. All right, that is a workout in itself. And that's it, guys. That's the top 3 core exercises that I recommend to all my patients, especially if you have back issues, some bad posture, because this is going to really help to increase your core stability, increase the stability of your spine. It's also going to help to improve your posture so you can stand upright, feel more confident, and just overall improve your health as well. So if you like this video, please like this video. Click on the subscribe button to watch videos more just like this, but also just comment below. Let me know which exercise you like the most, and let me know your feedback on videos in the future if you have any questions for me as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. God bless. Catch you later. Peace.